If there's one thing I'm good at, it's buying books. So it's time for a book haul. Hello my friends, welcome to my channel, Discover with Kim. I'm Kim, I'm so excited you're here with me today. Welcome to this week's book chat. This week's book chat is one of my favorite kind of videos to make, and that is a big book haul. So let's chat all the books I've bought recently. Alright my friends, it is currently the middle of September, so it seems like the perfect time for me to share a big fall book haul. So these are books that I have bought recently, so they will be in the last couple of months, and they're all the books that I've kind of bought midsummer towards this beginning of this fall. I know fall hasn't technically started yet, but it's kind of fall vibes now. So all the books I basically bought from July onwards that I feel like I plan to read this fall and I think will be honestly great books to read this fall. So they're going to be in no particular order, but I'm going to tell you what the books are. I'm going to show them off to you. I'm going to chat about them a little bit, and yeah, that's the plan. We have a lot of books to chat here, so I think we should get right into it. The first book that I'm going to share is a book that I bought, I believe, in July. It came out, I believe, in July, and it is one of my most anticipated books of this year, and that is The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. This book is basically like the sequel to The Spell Shop, so it's not the same storyline, but it is the same world. So it's basically a standalone series, so you can read them alone, but they are interconnected. They are the same world. This is second to The Spell Shop, and I absolutely adored The Spell Shop, so when I saw another one was coming out, I was like, I'm going to need to pick that up right away, which I did. So it is The Enchanted Greenhouse, and I'll tell you a little bit about this one. This one is about a different main character. It says a new standalone cozy fantasy set in a world of New York Times bestseller The Spell Shop. So the fact that it's a cozy fantasy to me means like basically, yeah, this is going to be like a fall cozy season, weather changing kind of read. So I'm very excited about that. It says, elsewhere in the Empire, on a remote island brimming with singing flowers, honey cakes, and honeyed love, Trulu Perna broke the law because she was lonely. She cast a spell and created a magical sentient spider plant. As punishment, she was turned into a wooden statue and tucked away in an alcove in the north reading room of the great library of Elysium. This should have been the end of her story. Yet one day, Turlu wakes in the cold of winter on a nearly deserted island full of hundreds of magical greenhouses. She's starving and freezing, and the only other human on the island is a grumpy gardener. To her surprise, he offers Tulu a place to sleep, clean clothes, and freshly baked honey cakes, at least until she's ready to sail home. But Tulu doesn't want to return home, and as she grows closer with the unwittingly charming gardener, Yarrow, she learns the magic that sustains the greenhouses is failing, causing the death of everything within them. Turlu knows she must help, even if that means breaking the law again. This time, though, she isn't alone. Assisted by Yarrow and a sentient rose, Turlu must unravel the secrets of a long-dead sorcerer if she wants to save the island and have a fresh chance at happiness and love. It sounds so cute, it sounds so cozy, and yeah, I can't wait to dig into this one this fall. The next book that I recently purchased was my book of the month for August, and that is Forget Me Not by Stacey Willingham. This book is a thriller mystery, basically. It follows our main character, Claire. Her older sister, Natalie, disappeared shortly after her 18th birthday 22 years ago. Days later, her blood was found in a car and a man was arrested and the case was closed. It's now decades later, and Claire is attempting to forget this traumatic past, attempting to move on by moving to a new city and climbing the ranks as a journalist, until an unexpected call from her father forces her to come back home and face it all anew. So she has an entire summer now looming ahead, a summer with nothing to do in her childhood home, and she's with her estranged mother, and she decides on a whim that she's going to accept a seasonal job at Galloway Farm, which is a vineyard in the coast of South Carolina, and it's about an hour away from where she grew up. At first, it's like an idyllic escape. It's a scenic retreat, it's full of slow-paced nostalgia, and it's a place where her sisters seem to truly be happy in that last summer before she vanished. It feels like the perfect place for Claire to pass time. But as soon as she starts to settle in, she finds an old diary written by one of the owners, and at first seems like a story of rebellion and love. It turns into something much more sinister, and it begins to describe details of various unsolved crimes. So as the days stretch on, Claire finds herself becoming more and more secluded as she starts to obsess over this diary's contents. This sounds really good. That's JJ. And she has this lingering feeling that her own sister's disappearance may somehow be tied to it. That sounds so good. That sounds really, really good. And that sounds like such a fun, like, transitional season read, because it sounds like it'll be like summertime at a vineyard, but it's like thriller, mystery, and it just sounds so, so good. And I think this is going to be such a great one for fall. Alright, we'll continue this in a little bit because the roommates are home. The next book I bought is a sweet romance book, and it is 7 Year Itch by Amy Dawes. Absolutely love this version because it has the prettiest edges and has cats on it. This is a romance novel. It is the second in a series. I believe they are also standalone and interconnected standalones. That's the word. They're interconnected standalones. So they're in the same world. They have similar characters, but they're their own story. It is part of the Mountain Men Matchmaker novels. And this one is about, what is his name? Is his name even on the back? Calder. This is about Calder. And it says, alone and looking to bone, loudmouth mountain man seeks fiery woman to grow old with. I might look like a tall tattooed bearded Neanderthal, but like an onion I have layers. Swipe right if you like a proud cat daddy who catches feelings after direct eye contact. And it is about Calder, and he needs a casual +1 to his brother's destination wedding. So I believe his niece, idiots on his family tree hacked his dating profile and sabotaged his quest for the perfect weekend fling. So now he's stuck on a tropical vacation with only his hand to keep him company. That's what it says. Then it says he's forced to share, close proximity, until I'm forced to share a room with the bane of my existence, my sister-in-law's best friend, Dakota. Dakota has hated me for the past 7 years, and I wasn't losing much sleep over her screaming rants because she is some other guy's problem, or she was until she got divorced. Being stuck in paradise with a woman who loathes you, your very existence, doesn't sound hot, but after an unexpected moment in our shared lapa, she starts screaming at me in a different way. What happens in paradise stays in paradise, that is, until Dakota shows up on my mountain with a proposition, be her wingman to help her regain her pre-divorce confidence. But this sounds fun. Suddenly, Dakota's not just a person I love to fight with, she's a woman I want everything with. That sounds so cute. So it is second to 9-month contract. 9-month contract is the first one. This is the second one. It sounds really cute. It sounds like a fun, spicy enemies to lovers romance. It sounds like there's close proximity. It sounds like there's some kind of contract, some kind of convenience, and it sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds really cute, and I'm expecting the banter to be amazing. It better be. So I'm excited for this one. The next book I bought is one that I am ridiculously excited for, mostly because this version is just so freaking adorable, and that is the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. That, like, look at the way the foil shines, and then it has these edges, and then when I take off the dust jacket, that's when it gets crazy, because I'm sorry, look at this. Is this not like the perfect fall edition of anything that you've ever seen? It's just so beautiful, and I love it. It has beautiful artwork in it as well. So I'm so excited for this one. This one, I believe, is the first in like another interconnected standalone romance series. I believe, they're all in the back here. So you can see those are all the other ones. But this one is the first one, I believe, in like this series. I think so. Yes, her first novel, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So let me tell you about it. It is a small town spicy romance. When Jeannie's aunt gives her the beloved Pumpkin Spice Cafe in the small town of Dream Harbor, Jeannie jumps at the chance for a fresh start away from her very dull desk job. Yes, please. Logan is a local farmer who avoids Dream Harbor's gossip at all costs, but Jeannie's arrival disrupts Logan's routine, and he wants nothing to do with the irritatingly upbeat new girl, except that he finds himself inexplicably drawn to her. Will Jeannie's happy-go-lucky attitude win over the grumpy but gorgeous Logan, or has this city girl found the one person in town who won't fall for her charm or her pumpkin spice lattes? That sounds really cute, honestly. I think it's going to be another, like, cozy, this one's going to be like a cozy romance, from what I can tell. I think it's going to be like a cozy, spicy romance, and I cannot wait. On my September TBR, so hopefully I'll get it read this month, and I'm excited to dig into this one, because it's really just giving me fall vibes, and yeah, I had to buy it for my fall haul. I basically had to. Next up was another book that I got for my book of the month from August, and that was Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. I get add-ons to my book of the month, so that's why I get several books of the month most months, but most of the time you just get one and then you get add-ons for a lower price. I will link book of the month down below. Not sponsored, but if you are interested, I believe you do get a discount if you use my code, so if you are interested, give it a look, because they have some really cool books, and they have some really pretty versions, which I'm a big fan. Like, these stencil editors, they get me. But anyways, Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. It says, some fates are worse than death. This one, I had a hard time saying no to. Basically, I had to get it. It says, 6 rivals, 1 victor. Eternity is only the beginning. I believe it is a romantasy. Let me read you. Oh, it is a academia. An academic fantasy. It says, welcome to Blackwood Academy, the legendary school located on the fringes of the afterlife. Once a pupil enters the Academy's arch gate, there is no way out except for the decennial. Hold on. Except for the decennial, a once-in-a-decade celebration in which a single worthy student is tested and given a choice: graduate and join Blackwood's magical elite, or cross over to the mysterious other side. This time, though, the rules have changed. This decennial isn't a celebration, it's a competition, and there can only be one victor. That sounds so good. Okay, and then it says, two academic arch rivals whose strange connection blurs the lines between obsession and hate, one girl driven solely by ambition and another plagued by memories of the love she lost, and a charming playboy who never cared for anyone until he met the academy's newest student. Each of these 6 students has their own motivation to win and their own secret to hide, but what none of them know, they aren't the only ones playing Blackwood's game, and if they lose, some fates are worse than death. That sounds so good, and that sounds like such a, like, when I think of, like, academia, I just think of, like, the fall season. It's just fall and academia. They just go together to me. So, right there, that's a fall book to me. Plus the fantasy-ness of it. It just sounds so good, and it sounds so interesting. And, again, this one is also on my September TBR, so I'm hoping to get to it this month because, like, just reading that synopsis makes me really interested because it sounds so good. It sounds so good. Next up, so at the beginning of July, I went to an event at one of my local indie bookstores, and I got 3 books from 3 different authors because they were each there, and then they signed the books for me. So the first one was The Neverless by Jade Presley. This is a why choose romantasy. The back says you're invited to the choosing where you could win the heart of not just one prince, but 4. Yeah, that sounds good, doesn't it? The 4 princes of Lumethist need a mate, and everyone wants a chance except for her. Threatened by invaders, the kingdom of Lumethist is on the verge of chaos, and no one can stop it. Unless the 4 immortal god princes find their fated mate and safeguard the throne, Lumethist will fall. 5 women have tried, 5 have failed, and tonight in the royal city, the princes need to find their chosen and hope she can survive the transformation that will make her immortal. What? Only Riley Gray wasn't supposed to be here. She snuck in for her own dark reasons, and now they claim they found their perfect match. Her. Of course, they have no idea she's concealing a secret big enough to damn them all. The 4 princes have no choice. They'll use every delectably wicked skill they have to make Riley fall for all of them, or watch their kingdom collapse. That sounds good. Wow. Look at the artwork, the cover, and then, like I mentioned, I did get it signed, which is so special. Strapped one, love it. But yeah, that is a why choose romantasy, and it sounds really good. Honestly, that sounds really, really good, and I'm super, super excited. The next book I got at the book event was The Half King by Melissa Landers. It says, his curse, her fate, a kingdom of secrets, a palace of lies, and a curse that could shatter her world. This one, again, she was at the event, and this one, again, is a fantasy. I think it's a romantasy. I believe it is definitely a romantasy. It says, a king by day, shadow by night. The great betrayal changed everything for the allied realm. Long ago, the kingdom's noble houses rose up against the goddess, and for their treachery, the firstborn of each noble family was cursed. One with perilous beauty, one with destructive knowledge, and one with insatiable bloodlust. But the royal house, Mortara, received the worst affliction of all. For all the king exists during the day, he fades into nothingness at night, until his 21st birthday, when he will be lost to the shadows forever. Now an acolyte has arrived at court. Like all the second-born children of the allied realm, she's destined to serve the goddess and become a seer. Only Cerise alone has no gift of foretelling. In fact, she has no magical gift at all. Instead, she's surrounded by courtiers and priests, smiling sycophants whose hearts are filled with secrets and lies, and at the center of it all sits His Majesty Kian Hannibal Mortara, with his haunting eyes, sharp tongue, and an unerring ability to send her pulse skittering at the worst possible moments. Falling for him is unthinkable, because the king is the last of his line, and as the specter of his 21st birthday and the full force of his curse approaches, the kingdom holds its breath. There's only one way to save a dying king, and it lies with the one person who's hiding the biggest secret of all, Cerise. It sounds so, so good. And yeah, that one sounds like an amazing romantasy as well. Honestly, I think they're all going to be super good. Again, she is signed, which is so, so special. And I'm really excited to dig in and read this one. And then last but not least, at the event, I got Shattered Souls by Mai Corland. This was actually her event because this book just came out at the beginning of July. It is the 3rd in a series. Number 1 is 5 Broken Blades. And this one says, it's the season for treason. The king of Yusan must die. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective, to kill the god of Yun. He has it coming. Under his merciless immortal hand, the nobles flourish, while the poor and innocent are imprisoned, ruined, or sold. And now, each of the 5 blades will come for him. Each has tasted bitterness from the hired hitman seeking atonement, a lovely assassin who seeks freedom, even the prince banished for his cruel crimes. None can resist the sweet, icy lure of vengeance. They can agree on murder, they can agree on treachery, but for these 5 killers, each versed in deception, lies, and betrayal, it's not enough to forge an alliance. To survive, they'll have to find a way to trust each other, but only one can take the crown. Let the best liar win. So that is book 1. So at the event, I got book 3, which is the last in the series. I also own book 2, but this is the one I got at the event, and it is absolutely beautiful. There's some really cool artwork in it. Beautiful cover. I'm not going to read you the synopsis of this one because, again, I don't want to ruin the series for you or myself because I have not read it yet. But I do have, it is signed. Lucky, lucky me. And then I do plan on reading this trilogy sometime soon, hopefully this fall. So if I do get it read this fall, the game plan is I will make a full reading vlog of me reading the trilogy, and we can read it. So I'm excited for that. 1 stack down, 2 stacks to go. Okay, let's keep it going. Next up is another romantasy. It is the first in a new series, and that is On Wings of Blood by Briar Bolin. This is the first in the Bloodwing Academy series. Honestly, I was just scrolling book sites and I stumbled across this book and I thought it was so pretty, and I read the description and it sounded good, so I scooped it up, and it sounds like the perfect fall fantasy read if you ask me. Let me read you the synopsis. Welcome to Bloodwing Academy. Expect magic, expect competition, expect blood. Right? I didn't sign up for this. A half-fae in a school of high-blood vampires? That's a recipe for suffering. I'm Medra Pendragon, last of the Dragon Riders, or so they tell me. Funny thing is, there are no dragons left. Not a single one. But somehow, that hasn't stopped the vampires from deciding I'm worth capturing. Now, I'm stuck at Bloodwing Academy, where the High-Bloods run everything, and Blightborn like me, we're just blood in their veins, pawns in their games. But that's not even the worst part. Enter Blake Dracarrow, cold, arrogant, and way too gorgeous for his own good. He's been tormenting me since the moment we met, and now, thanks to some ancient ritual, we're betrothed. He acts like he owns me, but I'm not going down without a fight. Bloodwing isn't just a school, it's a battlefield. High-Bloods fight for power, and if you're weak, you're dead. Between deadly competitions, lies that could get me executed, and a dragon-shaped secret looming over my head, all I have to do is survive. Easy, right? Except I'm starting to think the real danger isn't in the academy, it's what I'm becoming in this twisted game of power. And Blake? He might just be the one who pushes me over the edge. They think they can control me, they think they can use me, but they have no idea what they've awakened. That sounds really, really good. I know there's 2 more books in the series, and the special editions I think come out over the next 6 months-ish, give or take. So look out for those. But yeah, this book sounds so good. It sounds so interesting, and yeah, I couldn't resist. So that is another book I picked up for my fall haul. Next up is the second in a series that I needed, and this is The Robin on the Oak Throne by K.A. Linda. This is second to The Holly in the Wren Library. So I read the first, that's a lie. I did not read the first book yet, and it is currently wrapped up for my summer reading challenge, so I cannot read you the synopsis of it. But this is the second book in this series, and it says, can you trust the dark when you know that it lies? And then the back says, a weapon is only as powerful as it weakens, and you are mine. Yeah, that sounds so, so good. And yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I believe this one is actually connected to the first one. It's not like a standalone. So I'm not going to read you the synopsis because I'm not going to ruin it for you or for me because I still need to read the first one. But this one came out this summer. It is the second in the series, so I picked it up so I can tackle them both this fall because, yeah, they sound like great fall reads, and I'm pretty excited. Next up, this is the first in a series. I know the second one is out yet. I do not own the second one yet, and that is The Last One by Rachel Hazel Hall. The back says, there are gods, there are humans, and then there's her. Okay, I believe this is a romantasy. Yes, it is. It says, explosive and enthralling romantasy debut from New York Times bestselling author Rachel Hazel Hall. Thrown into a desolate land of sickness and unnatural beasts, Kai wakes in the woods with no idea who she is or how she got there. Well, she knows that if she cannot reach the Sea of Devour, even this hellscape will get worse. But when she sees the village blacksmith fight invaders with unspeakable skill, she decides to accept his offer of help. Too bad he's as skilled at annoying her as he is at fighting. As she searches for answers, Kai only finds more questions, especially regarding the blacksmith, who can ignite her body like a flame, then douse it with ice in the next breath. And no one is what or who they appear to be in the kingdom of Van Verth, including the man whose secrets might be as deadly as the land itself. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Honestly, it's just so pretty. Like, everything about that was like, this sounds like a series I'm going to want to read. So this is the first in the series. I do not own the second one yet. I do know the second one is out because I saw it at the bookstore, but I did not buy it. I should have, but I did not. So I have this first one for my fall haul, and that one will probably be in my winter haul, let's be honest. But yeah, the last one, another romantasy. I think romantasies and thrillers and cozy romances and cozy fantasies, all that coziness and all that spookiness and all that academia and all that like thrillerness, all that funness is definitely very much fall for me. So all these books very much have that like theme in a lot of them, to be honest. But it's a fall book haul. That's what it is. Hey, let's keep it going, my friends. We are getting there. We are getting there. I'm sorry if you hear motion upstairs, by the way. That is my housemate. We can't really always control that. The next book I picked up was The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. I wanted to pick this one up because I know that the second book comes out this fall, and I wanted to have the first one preferably read, but at least I want to own it so that I can pick up the second book and read them both when the next one comes out. And I will read you this one. It says, Dangerous Fae, Dark Secrets, Addictive Romance. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. After losing both her parents, Bristol Keith and her sisters struggle to stay afloat in their small, quaint town of Bowes Keep. When Bristol begins to receive letters from an aunt she's never heard of who promises she can help, she reluctantly agrees to meet and discovers that everything she thought she knew about her family is a lie. Her father might even still be alive, not killed, but kidnapped by terrifying creatures and taken to a whole other realm, the one he is from. Desperate to save her father and find the truth, Bristol journeys to a land of gods and fae and monsters. Pulled into a dangerous world of magic and intrigue, she makes a deadly bargain with a fae leader, Taigen. But what she doesn't know is that he's the one who drove her parents to live a life on the run, and he's just as determined as she is to find her father, dead or alive. That sounds so good. I'm so glad I picked this up before the second one pops out because that sounds so good, and I'm excited to read this and then keep the story going. So yeah, I'm really excited for this, and I think it is a great addition for a fall book. It sounds so good. It sounds so good. Next up, I have two in a series. I actually have both of them right here, and that is A Study in Drowning and A Theory of Dreaming by Ava Reed. A Study in Drowning is number 1. And A Theory of Dreaming is number 2. I think they're so pretty. Like, look at that. That is so pretty. I think they're so pretty. And yeah, let me read you the synopsis of book number 1. I picked them both up. This one just came out. This one came out a little while ago. I just never managed to pick it up, but I've been finding it hard to find the ones with the stenciled edges, and I wanted to match this one, so I was like, I had to get these right now before I can't find the special edition anymore, and I wanted the special edition. So the back says, but if fairies and monsters were real, so were the women who defeated them. It began as all things did, a girl on the shore, terrified and desirous. Effie Sayer has believed in fairy tales, even though crumbling under the pressure of her first term at college, she can't always seem to tell the difference between fact and fiction. Her only solace has been Angahard, don't know if I pronounced that right, an epic from Lyrian national hero and author Emery's Meerden. Taken by chance and maybe fate to the late author's estate, she is intent on finding the purpose to her own story, but instead stumbles upon Preston Hillary, a scholar from the Literature College. Preston has come to Hirith Manor. It's really testing me with some of these words. Determined to prove Effie's favorite author is a fraud, and her only hope of proving him wrong is to conspire with him. But Hirith, perched on the very edge of a wrathful ocean, holds dark secrets, the likes of which both Effie and Preston thought only existed in the pages of Meerden's story. The house and the truth might just ruin them both, as the sea threatens to swallow it, them, and all their stories whole. Part historical fantasy, part rivals to lovers romance, and part gothic mystery, this feminist fairy tale has captivated readers with its haunting, dreamlike atmosphere. That sounds good. That sounds really, really good, if you ask me. And then I believe book 2 here is a continuation of the story. Just because you love her doesn't mean you can save her. Like, okay, both of these sound really good, and I think they're going to be such a fun, like, series to read, and I'm really excited, and they kind of sound perfect for the fall time. Spooky, mysterious, fantasy, all this different stuff, and yeah, I'm a big fan, and I'm really excited for these ones, and they look so good together. Look at that. They look really good together. Good choice, whoever picked this art. I love it. I'm so excited. Talk so much my battery died. But let's continue on with the fall book haul. The next book I purchased was Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Moss, which is the collector's edition. It is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. This is again the first in a series. The second one comes out this fall, so I wanted to hurry up and purchase the first one before the second one came out so that I could have them both, and I could either read them together or I could read one and then purchase the next one when it comes out. And I've been seeing around social media that this book is really good, and I looked it up, and honestly it sounded so interesting and so fun. It says, I'm just a girl and it turns out I'm Hercules. Yep, it sounds really fun, and let me read you the synopsis. I'm struggling to survive in a Titan-infested world where Spartans, immortals from 12 royal families who have godlike powers and obscene wealth, rule over all. A shy, stammering foster child with nothing, I keep my head down, cover my scars, and focus on excelling in school. At least I try to. Then it happens. My blood test reveals I'm part of the powerful elite. I'm one of them, a Spartan. Forced to attend the Spartan War Academy, I undergo the most harrowing test of all to see if I have what it takes to be an immortal. There's just a few problems. Achilles and Petro are my scary mentors. Charon, the ferryman of death, and Augustus, the son of war, are my terrifying professors. Also, I'm pretty sure either someone's stalking me everywhere I go, or my sanity's slipping. I have a bad feeling both are true. I'm surrounded by villains, and they're smothering me with their hate, obsession, and dark possessiveness. Too bad for them, they have no clue just who they're messing with. I've heard this book is so good, and yeah, a retelling of Hercules as a female sounded so fun, and it sounded like such a good, like, fall read, so I was like, I have to pick this one up. We're on to our last stack, my friends. Final stack. The next book I picked up was by Lynn Painter, and it was called Made for Each Other. If you've been on my channel before, you might have realized that I'm a big fan of Lynn Painter. I actually found her like in January of this year with her young adult romances, and I thought they were so cute, and the banter and the giddiness and the romance in it is just so fun that I basically bought like 5 of them and like gobbled them all up. I think 4 of them, but same thing. And anyways, I saw that she came out with this book in, I believe, July or August, and it is an adult romance, and I hadn't even realized she wrote adult romances, which, silly me, why did I not look that up? But it's an adult romance, so it is my first Lynn Painter adult romance. I have not read it yet, but I believe I'm going to love it. And when I saw that it came out, basically I had to pick it up, because if I see Lynn Painter on it, I'm going to be buying it. That's just the truth of it. So it says, a millionaire and a house cleaner are a match made in heaven in this sparkling new romantic comedy. As a professional cleaner, Abby Mariano never thought her apartment would have any sort of infestation, but because of a building-wide outbreak, she now needs somewhere to stay for a week. As a part-time student with 2 jobs, she doesn't have many options. Then a solution presents itself. The owner of a penthouse she cleans is out of town for the week. She normally wouldn't consider it, but he's literally never around. She hasn't even met him. It all goes well, until one morning she finds 2 strangers in the kitchen. They're the parents of the penthouse owner, and they seem to think they've heard all about Abby, not as his son's maid, but as his girlfriend. Declan Powell has always put his career first, working his way up to become an executive at his company, but he still has his sights set on the next level. When his parents mention that they met his girlfriend, Abby, he all but chokes on his escargot. As wonderful as it is to hear that she was just darling, he doesn't actually have a girlfriend. He made her up to get everyone off his back. When Dex finds out who Abby really is, he makes her a proposition. Pretend to date him, and he'll provide everything she needs during their little arrangement. What harm would it do? It's purely business, not pleasure, right? That sounds fun. A fake dating scenario. I tend to love a fake dating scenario because I love watching them like get to know each other and secretly fall for each other, and I think it's gonna be really sweet, and I'm really hoping that like the giggles and the banter are as good in her adult romances as they are in her young adult romances. So we shall be finding out. So the next up in my fall haul, I did not actually purchase this one. I was recently given it from my sister. So me and my family, we do this book exchange every Christmas, and then we kind of pass the books around throughout the year. And this is one of the books from that exchange. My sister recently gave it to me. That is Legends and Lattes by Travis Bardrey. This, I believe, is a cozy fantasy. It says, a novel of high fantasy and low stakes. After a lifetime of bounties and bloodshed, Vive is hanging up her sword for the last time. The battle-weary orc aims to start fresh, opening the first ever coffee shop in the city of Thun. But rivals old and new stand in the way of success, not to mention the fact that no one has the faintest idea what coffee actually is. If Viv wants to put the blade behind her and make her plans a reality, she won't be able to go it alone. But the true rewards of the uncharted path are the travelers you meet along the way, and whether drawn together by ancient magic, a flaky pastry, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become partners, family, and something deeper than she ever could have dreamed. So it sounds like a cute, cozy fantasy. It sounds like she wants to hang up her sword and become a coffee shop owner, and it sounds like that's what the book's gonna be about. So that sounds really precious and really cute, and I think that's actually kind of the perfect like fall cozy fantasy book. Next up, I recently purchased this one at Walmart because I was grocery shopping, and I cannot resist a book when I'm grocery shopping if I can manage it. So that was Kiss the Villain by Rena Kent. This one is a dark romance. It says, my darkness meets a darker soul. I'm a golden boy, a genius law student, the heir to the Carson Empire, and the dutiful son. Or at least that's what it looks like from the outside. Deep inside, I have the urge to set the world on fire. I keep these impulses in check, rarely indulging in mayhem, until one night of debauchery backfires and I'm caught by a villain. I bury the entire ordeal with the rest of my skeletons, that is, until the night walks into my classroom in the form of my new professor. Caden Lockwood, a criminal who's teaching law. I can't expose what he's done without unmasking my secret. What I can do, however, is force him to taste the poison he gave me. In a clash of titans, Caden and I break and crumble. I'm starting to realize this dangerous game may have no winners. That sounds like a really fun and spicy dark romance. I think it's going to be really interesting. It's quite thick, so I'm a little intimidated by that, but I'm pretty excited for it. And yeah, I think that's going to be really fun, and I think like a dark romance, something a little bit spicy, something a little bit like villainous, is really kind of perfect for the fall season. Lost track of where I was. Okay, next up, I purchased this special edition of Quicksilver by Callie Hart. So I've been wanting to read this book for a while, but I will be honest, the cover with the man on it was just so unappealing to me. It was so unappealing to me that I couldn't bring myself to purchase it. But when I saw that this beautiful version was coming out, I was like, okay, yep, this version I can get behind. So I purchased this beautiful version of Quicksilver by Callie Hart, and I believe the next book in this series comes out this fall, so I wanted to make sure I got the first one before the second book came out so I could read them again together. As you can tell, a very big theme of this haul was getting all the books that I needed for the books that are about to come out this fall. So I needed to like stack up my TBR of all the books that I needed to read before all the fall books start coming out. So that's what a really big chunk of this was kind of stacking up my fall TBR for prep of all the books that are going to be coming out in the next like 6 months, which is going to be so many good books. So many like continuations of series are coming out. I'm going to be so busy reading. But anyways, Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This is a romantasy, I believe. It says, do not touch the sword, do not touch the key, do not open the gate. Cerise Fan is good at keeping secrets. No one knows about the strange power she possesses, or the fact that she has been picking pockets and stealing from the Undying Queen's reservoirs for as long as she can remember. In the land of the unforgiving desert, there isn't much a girl wouldn't do for a glass of water, but sooner or later every secret comes out. When Ceres comes face to face with Death himself, she inadvertently reopens a gateway between realms and is transported to a land of ice and snow. The Fae have always been the stuff of myth, of legend, of nightmares, but it turns out they're real, and Ceres has landed right in the middle of a centuries-long conflict that might just get her killed. The first of her kind to tread the frozen mountains of Yevlia, in over 1,000 years, Ceres mistakenly binds herself to Kingfisher, a handsome Fae warrior who has secrets and nefarious agendas of his own. He will use her alchemist magic to protect his people, no matter what it costs him or her. That sounds really good. That sounds so fun. That sounds a little bit different for like a romantasy, and I think it sounds really good. And like I said, book 2 is coming out this fall, so I'm hoping to get this one read, or at least pick up book 2 and then read them together. And yeah, I think this is gonna be another really great romantasy. I have so many romantasies to read. It's a really good thing I'm in a romantasy mood right now because I have so many romantasies to read. It's not even funny. Next up, thankfully, is not a romantasy. It is a romance, and that is Cash by Jessica Peterson. This is part of the Lucky River Ranch series. I believe they are all standalone, interconnected romance novels. This is number 1, and it is about Molly Luck. Molly Luck has run out of luck. When her estranged father unexpectedly dies, he leaves her his massive cattle ranch, but not without a catch. To collect her inheritance, city girl Molly will have to move back to the small-town Texas ranch she left as a child when her parents split and manage it for a full year. Needing the money to invest in her company, Molly resigns herself to moving to cowboy country. A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. But there's one giant roadblock in her plan, the ranch's grumpy foreman, Cash Rivers. Never mind how good he looks in his Wranglers and chaps, he's rude, growly, and wants Molly gone. Forced to work alongside each other, Molly and Cash are soon having late-night conversations beneath the stars and dancing cheek to cheek at the local dive bar. But Molly's stay in Hartsville is only temporary. And you know what they say about cowboys, they may break horses, but they also break hearts. Cowboy romance. Yes, I saw the special version. I saw the special edition version. And yeah, I could not resist, so I picked this up. And I know cowboy romances might feel like a summer trope to some people, but I feel like a nice fluffy cowboy romance in like the middle of fall would be so fun, because it like, if it's like a hot weekend, or if I really need like a break from all this heavy romantasy and thrillers and stuff, a fluffy spicy cowboy romance is the perfect palate cleanser, and it's the perfect like escapism for fall. Next up, 2 books that I actually picked up at the dollar store. So I've been checking dollar store books recently, and they've had some really good ones. So the first one is This Cursed Crown by Alexandra Overy. This one is actually the second in a series. It is the sequel to These Feathered Flames. This is Magic Demands Sacrifice. So I looked it up, and it really is. It is a $20 book, and it is like 20 bucks on Amazon. And so I picked up the second book, and I'm hoping that at some point I'm going to find the first book at the dollar store. If not, I'll have to pick it up at a bookstore or Amazon or something at some point. But I could not pick up $1.50 for a beautiful book that is super expensive on Amazon. Like, it's a $20 book, and I got it for $1.50. Yes, please. I'm not going to read you the synopsis because I don't want to ruin the first one for you or for me, but I do know it is a fantasy novel, and I believe it is about 2 queen sisters. That is what I know. Another book that I recently got from the dollar store was On the Rooftop by Margaret Wilkerson Sexton. This book is part of Reese's Book Club. So like, if you see a stamp like that on it, I feel like that's telling you like it's gonna be a decent book. Like, it's not gonna be some trash book. And the cover price is listed at $28.99. And again, I got it for $1.50 at the dollar store. So how can you pass that up? It's a novel of music, love, and the colliding dreams of mothers and daughters in gentrifying 1950s San Francisco. At home, they are just sisters, but on stage, they are the Salvations. Ruth, Esther, and Chloe have been singing and dancing in harmony since they could speak. Thanks to the rigorous direction of their mother, Vivian, they've become a bona fide girl group whose shows are the talk of the jazz-era Fillmore. Now Vivian has scored a once-in-a-lifetime offer from a talent manager, who promises to catapult the Salvations into the national spotlight. Vivian knows this is a big break she's been praying for, but sometime between the hours of rehearsal on their rooftop and the weekly gigs at the Champagne Supper Club, the girls have become women, and women with dreams that their mother cannot imagine. The neighborhood is changing too. All around the Fillmore, white men in suits are approaching black property owners with offers. One sister finds herself called to fight back. One falls into the comfort of an old relationship, another yearns to make her own voice heard. And Vivian, who has always maintained control, will have to confront the parts of her life that threaten to splinter, the community, the Salvations, and even her family. This sounds really good. It sounds like it's going to be such a coming of age novel, and it sounds like it's going to have a lot of African American culture in there, and it sounds like it's going to have a lot of musical culture in there. And I think that's such a fun, like, contemporary novel for the fall, because it kind of lets you see, like, at least for me, like, different cultures, different viewpoints, and it gets to go back to the 1950s and what that's like. And I think that's such a fun, different kind of novel to pick up and to read. Next up was my book of the month. it wasn't from a specific month. This was actually an add-on, so it wasn't like a month. It was just books they had available, and it was an early release, and I read it, and I read the synopsis, and I wanted it, so I added it to my box. That was The Book of Lost Hours by Haley Dalfuso. This book sounds really good. It says, who would you rewrite history for? Enter the time-space, a soaring library filled with books containing the memories of those who have passed, and accessed only by specifically made watches, once handed down from father to son, but now mostly in government hands. This is where 11-year-old Lisa Vette Levy finds herself trapped in 1938, waiting for her watchmaker father to return. When he doesn't, she grows up among the book's inspectors, able to see the world only by shifting through the memories of those who came before her. As she realizes that government agents are entering the time-space to destroy books and maintain the preferred version of history, she sets about saving these scraps in her own volume of memories. Until the appearance of an American spy named Ernest Duquesne in 1949 offers her a glimpse of the world she left behind, setting her on a course to change history and possibly the time-space itself. In 1965, 16-year-old Amelia Duquesne is mourning the disappearance of her uncle Ernest. An enigmatic CIA agent approaches her to enlist her help in tracking down a book of memories her uncle had once sought. But as Amelia visits the time-space for the first time, she realizes that the past and the truth might not be as linear as she'd like to believe. Time travel, political unrest, saving history, libraries and books that hold memories. This book sounds so good. It sounds like a fantasy, but it also sounds historical, and it sounds contemporary, and it sounds so interesting, and I feel like it's just going to be such a good book, and it's just going to have such a fun storyline, and I think it's a little bit different, but also like a little bit cozy, and I couldn't say no to this book. I had to pick it up, and I think it's going to be such a good addition to my fall TBR. Next up is The Scorpion and the Night Blossom by Emily Wen Zhao. This is the first in a series. I believe the second one just came out or is about to come out this fall. I do not have the second one yet, but I wanted to pick up the first one because the second one is about to come out and the first one sounded really good, and I also wanted to get the special edition. Plus I got it for my sister for her birthday, and I got myself a copy too. It says, 9 years ago, the war between Kingdom of Night and the Kingdom of Rivers tore An Ying's family apart, leaving her mother barely alive and a baby sister to fend for. Now the mortal realm is falling into eternal night, and Mo, beautiful ravenous demons, roam the land, feasting on the flesh of humans and drinking their souls. An Ying is no longer a helpless child, though. Armed with her crescent blades and trained in the ancient art of practicing, she has decided to enter the immortality trials, which are open to any mortal who can survive the journey to the immortal realm. Those who complete the trials are granted a pill of eternal life, the one thing An Ying knows can heal her dying mother, but to obtain the prize she must survive the competition. Death is common in the trials, yet oddly, An Ying finds that someone is helping her stay alive. A rival contestant. Powerful and handsome, Yu Chen is as secretive about his past as he is about his motives for protecting An Ying. The longer she survives the trials, the clearer it becomes that all is not right in the immortal realm. To save her mother and herself, An Ying will need to figure out whether she can truly trust the stranger she's fallen for, or he's the most dangerous player of all, for herself and for the other realms. So it sounds like a romantasy with trials and a lot on the line. It sounds really good, and I believe it's going to have some different culture in it, and I think it's just going to be a really good like romantasy. And with the next one coming out, I wanted to pick it up, and it's gorgeous. Look at it, it's gorgeous. But I just think it's going to be a fun fall read. And then last but not least is actually a full box set, a trilogy, and that is the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. This trilogy consists of 3 books. It is The Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and then Rune and Rising. Let me pull them out, and we can talk about them. So number 1, Shadow and Bone. It says, Soldier, Summoner, Saint. As the threat of Ravok mounts and Alina unlocks the secrets of her past, she will make a dangerous discovery that could threaten all she loves and the future of a nation. That tells me very little, but number 2 is called Siege and Storm, and then number 3 is called Rune and Rising. As you can see, they're about to become a Netflix series. So 1, I wanted to pick them up for that. 2, I wanted to pick them up because my sister were reading them, so I wanted to read them as well. And 3, I just have always had this list on my TBR. So when I had a deal for them, I saw it, I picked them up, and I'm excited to dig into this trilogy this fall. I believe it's just going to be a good like romantasy trilogy, and I'm really excited for it. And yeah, I cannot wait. If you guys could see this pile of books over here, I'm gonna show you. It's insane. Those are all the books. They're not in the way, but those are all the books that I've purchased for this fall book haul in the last couple of months for my fall TBR. I didn't specifically purchase these books for this book haul. I did not specifically purchase these books for this video. They were purchased over the past few months or given to me or whatever, and I've just decided since I have them all, I would use them to make a fall book haul video for you all. I want to make that clear because I'm not saying that, one, I don't have the money to do that, and also I did not just go out and buy all these books just to make this video. I happened to buy all these books, and so I decided to make a video because I am a very big book buyer and reader, but a very big book buyer, and I personally, I'm so sorry. He wanted to be part of my hair. I personally love watching people's book haul videos, so I'm definitely a big fan of making them as well because I think they're so fun. But yeah, these are all the books that I have purchased recently and that I purchased to add to my fall TBR. Like I noted, many of them I purchased because either I needed them to complete a series, the next in the series are coming out, so I wanted to get them before the next ones come out so that I can purchase them and tackle the series, or perhaps they were just the vibes that I was feeling, or they were just kind of like those fall vibes. So yeah, there are 28 books in this haul. So 28 books for my fall haul. Future Kim here realizes I forgot my September book of the month. So I got in my September book of the month box Volume 0, Issue 9. This is a collection of short stories that I get with my book of the month every other month. So it's like an add-on that you can get feature, and it's just a bunch of short stories. You get 7 short stories, and they're by 7 different authors, and they're just kind of weird, they're kind of fun, and I kind of love them because they're just something different to read. And then, more fun, and more importantly, my actual book of the month for September of 2025, obviously, don't know why I said that, but it was Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. And what made me so excited about this one is it was already on my list of books that I wanted to buy this fall. It actually doesn't come out until October, but book of the month got it a month early, and since it was already on my list of books to buy this fall, I was like, obviously I'm gonna pick this one, and I had to get it, and I'm so excited for it. Let me read you the synopsis. It starts with a class in an old movie theater. Folklore 517. Local legends and urban myths taught by a woman called the Professor. Most students believe the Professor's stories are just fiction, but Helen St. James has always been convinced that magic is real. When she tracks down a local legend named the Watchman, who can supposedly tell you when you'll die, the world finally makes sense. Except that the Watchman tells her that she will die at midnight tomorrow unless she finds an ancient object called the alchemical heart. With the clock ticking, Holland is pulled deeper into this magical world in the heart of Los Angeles, and into the path of a magnetic stranger. Everything about him feels like a bad idea, but he promises Holland that her sister sent him to her to protect her. As they chase clues and stories that take them closer to the alchemical heart, Helen realizes everyone in this intoxicating new world is lying to her, even this stranger. And if she can't figure out whom to trust, not even the alchemical heart will save her. Yeah, it sounds really good, and I'm a big fan of Stephanie Garber. It sounds like a fun mystery. It sounds like a story where like time is running out and everything is really important. It's really like you have to get things done, and it sounds really good. And like I said, it was already on my list of books to buy this fall, so I was like, yes, add it to my box, add it to my fall haul, and add it to my fall TBR. So Alchemy of Secrets is my actual last book for my fall haul. Okay, now back to my outro. And I'm hoping that this fall I can read a huge chunk of books. We have like 3.5 months left of the year, so hopefully I'll get a good like 40 books read before this year ends, because I'm already 50 books in, so, and I'm kind of ramping up my reading, so hopefully I'll just tackle more and more books and I'll get a lot of these read, and I'll be making reading vlogs for you guys. I'll be making all kinds of different books vlogs for you guys. I'll be making wrap-up vlogs so I can talk about what I think about the different books I read and all the fun stuff. So you'll be seeing me read a lot of these books in upcoming videos, and I'm so excited to share that with you guys. But yeah, that is my fall book haul. Thank you guys so much for being here and watching all the books that I've bought for this fall. I'd love to hear what books you guys are planning to read or purchase this fall in the comments down below. Please leave a comment. Let me know what books you've purchased recently, what books you want to purchase this fall, and if you purchased any of these books, if you've read any of them, let me know what you thought, and let me know if I need to get to any of them really soon. If you love them so much that like I need to pick them up, let me know that. But yeah, thank you guys again for being here. I hope you guys have a fabulous week. Live well, read some books, and go discover, my friends. Bye. And buy some books. Buy some books.